Beautiful morning. I went fishing yesterday, so I had to wash off some of the mud from the kayak, and I was thinking of the idea of maybe going through a couple of the items that always stay inside my kayak. I thought it would be an interesting discussion if I share mine and then other people can chime in with the things that they usually keep in their kayak, because obviously depending on the style of kayaking you do, the places you go, that you might have different gear just stowed away. These are just the things that I always like to keep in my kayak. First thing, contact tow rope. That never comes off my kayak. I always have it in case of anything. Super useful. I like using the setup according to Gordon Brown. He's a fantastic instructor. I'll link his video here on his approach to using the contact tow. Next, something that's always in my kayak is a bilge pump. You never know when you're going to fill up with water and need to pump it all out, but even if it doesn't go for you, there's been many times that I've been able to let other people borrow it in times of need. In my old kayak, I was able to store it behind the seat. Sometimes there's bungees right here under the deck. In mine here, I have an opening on the side of my seat. That's a perfect spot for me to slide it right in, and it just lives in there. Along with that, something I always have here is just a regular old sponge. Always useful for cleaning your kayak or getting that last bit of water out of your cockpit. Sometimes you just have a little pool of water. Sponge is a great way to get that water out. And now in my day hatch, a storm cag. I'll get back to that in a minute. Extra hatch covers. These always come in handy. I've let people borrow them many times in the past. Let's say a wave knocks one off, or you lose one when you're traveling, or you have the kayak on top of your car. There's different ways of having emergency hatch covers. So I have a full video. Take a look there if you want to see more about that. First aid kit, all the usual stuff in there, always in my day hatch. Paddle floats always in there. This I used to keep behind my seat in my old kayak. In this kayak, the seat goes all the way to the back, so I keep it in my day hatch. Just as long as you have easy access to it, this can be very, very useful, whether you need it maybe on an assisted rescue or a buddy might need it on the water. It's always good to have a paddle float on you. And then the last thing, this almost always lives in my kayak. It's a storm cag. Essentially what it is a big jacket, but that also can go and get on the coaming of your kayak. So if someone in the group is cold, if it's raining a lot, if you can put this on over your PFD, over your skirt. This goes straight to the coaming. It's super useful, really warm. This is definitely something I've used many times, and I've also lent it out to people. Let's say we're taking a break during class, or we're stopping somewhere for lunch and someone is dressed for paddling. So while they're in motion, they're warm, but when they stop and they're just standing around, let's say it's overcast or it's a little bit rainy, putting this on just cuts that wind and lets you warm up. Also, for example, there was one time, it was a very rainy day. We were doing a lesson in Maine. It was raining all day, it was chilly, we were in dry suits, we were dressed appropriately under the dry suits. But at the end of the day, we had to wait a bit longer than expected for a shuttle to come get us. So I started getting a bit chilly. I put this on and it helped big time. So it's not necessary for you to have it. It's just very useful for at least someone in the group to have one, so that if someone within your group gets cold while you're paddling, it's always a good, nice thing to have. So these are the things I like having in the kayak at all times. And then depending on the activity, I might have some extra safety stuff. Usually any other safety stuff I like having on my PFD. But the reason I like having this stuff in the kayak at all times is there's been many times that I've used it when I wasn't expecting. And instead of always having to remember to pack it and put it in the kayak, it's just nice to know that it's always there for us whenever we need it. So I'd love to hear if you have any other setups depending on the type of paddling you do. Same thing goes with questions. Please leave a comment below. So I hope that was helpful. Subscribe if you like. I'm always trying to put these videos out. And as always, look growing at Kayak Hipster. Thank you for watching and see you next time.